Hey, it's Soul, and this is your weekly reminder thing for World of Warcraft Dragonflight. Hit the like button, subscribe for more content, catch me live on Twitch, the schedule's right over there, the song is in the back of the video this time, and let's get right to it. Patch 10.05 launches this week, starting with server downtime that could last a while. There's quite a bit going on in this mid-season patch, but it's also not too much. I'm here to guide you through the highlights and what is most important. As soon as you log in, you'll want to be in Valdrakken to pick up all the weekly quests for Renown and Profession Points and more, but here's what I think you should do first. Fly to the top of Valdrakken, where the aspects are hanging out. There are two quests up there to pick up that are very important. One will lead you to the Revival Catalyst. That's the thing that lets you turn your regular gear into set pieces. After a quick intro, you can start your first weekly quest to unlock a charge of the Catalyst that all characters will earn at the same time each time the quest is completed. Skip to the next section if you know what this is all about, because some folks, believe it or not, have not played through Shadowlands content and have no idea how this thing works. The Catalyst lets you take gear earned from current season content. That includes Mythic Keystone dungeons, raids from any difficulty, epic PvP gear, so Gladiator gear, upgraded Primal Storm gear, and upgraded War Mode gear, and change any of that stuff into your character's class set. Now this only works on armor, so not weapons or accessories. The functionality of it is pretty simple. Once you have a charge, open the UI and click the plus here to look at all the gear you have on you that is eligible to be changed. Gear that is put through the Catalyst will retain the following: its item level, tertiary bonuses, enchants, and socketed gems. If the item has upgrade levels, like in Mythic Plus, that stays too, so the gear can continue to be upgraded. I didn't get to test this with Gladiator gear, but I want to presume that the PvP bonus will be kept. However, when checking this against War Mode gear, the bonus did not move over. I'm not sure if this is a bug or if this is intended. For now, I'm just calling this out. The secondary stats will change into predetermined values based on the gear that it's changing to. So in some cases, changing gear could result in losing valuable secondaries, or even gaining them. You'll have to look and see what you get. In any case, using the Catalyst may be desirable, as it unlocks armor appearances based on the item level of the gear. The Catalyst needs charges, earned from completing a weekly fill up the bar sort of quest that basically says do group content. This includes Big 3 content, raids, dungeons, and PvP. It includes group activities like the Siege of Dragonbane Keep. It also includes the World Boss, defeating rares in Primal Storm and Primalist Fury events, more on that later, but that's why you ought to pick up this weekly quest before starting up on any activities for the week. This quest is shared across your entire account, from picking it up, to your progress, to what you get. All of your characters that are max level will pick this up automatically once you pick it up the first time. Completing this quest gives all your characters a charge of the Catalyst. So in theory, on the third week, your main may have earned and probably spent 3 of these charges, while your freshly leveled alt from this week will have 3 charges immediately available for use. That's enough on the Catalyst. The second quest that you pick up in Valdrakken asks you to head to the Temporal Conflux in the southern area of Thaldraszus. Here you travel to the Primalist Future to take on the Primalist Fury event. It's a very simple but fun distraction for alts or for those who aren't so big on higher end content. When you arrive here, pick up the provided quest and double check the event is actually happening. It's supposed to run every 5 hours, and I'm not certain if it's the kind of event that you have to be there for, like Dragonbane Keep, or if it's the kind that just starts up again, like the Hunts or the Dragonflight pre-patch event. If you're trying to jump on this day 1, I advise checking on this very early, to the point where maybe you want to just unlock the Catalyst and then head straight here, and then do your profession stuff later. So what do you do here? You mostly slaughter enemies for quest credit. In the surrounding area are 4 portals that need to be closed battleground style. That's going to mean camping the objective and defeating all enemies that spawn so you can capture the point. The twist here, as far as testing went, is that someone's still gotta stay behind to defend the portal from being reactivated, because the objective of this event is to have all 4 portals be in a deactivated state at the same time. That's going to open up the boss in the end, who will drop goodies, so when it pops up, go out and get them. While you're here and outside of the protected area, you get a chilled debuff that slowly builds up damage. You can deploy a beacon, purchasable from vendors in the area, that creates warmth, which disables the debuff and provides protection from it for a while. This event appears to drop 385 item level gear, including drops from rares, the boss, and a vendor who sells some useful items like this trinket. The vendor also sells cosmetics, and also a chest that contains some random goodies and a storm sigil. So this is a path for interested parties to upgrade their storm sigil gear a little bit faster, which may equate to unlocking tier a little bit faster. Now this might not be useful for everyone, but well, most world content doesn't exactly speak to everyone. I think this is going to be cool for alts looking to fill some gaps in their gearing. Speaking of world content, throughout the Dragon Isles are faster rare spawns and new rares to boot. The rares themselves are a little bit tougher, that is, they're spongier, so more people can get on the tag. Some small additions made it into edit mode with this patch. You can now move around the experience and reputation bars, mess with the micro menu, the bag bars, and more. Some transmog and gold making opportunities made it into the patch as well. White and gray items can now have their appearances learned. A lot of them are visible straight through the appearance UI, so you can look there first for new things to hunt for. Many of these transmogs come from starting areas for new characters, and you might be holding on to rare appearances that you don't really know yet. So I suggest logging on to all of your characters, so the game learns what appearances you have, and maybe quests that you've completed to unlock even more. Base legendary pieces from Shadowlands also unlock transmog regardless of the item level it's crafted at, so if you're sitting on unsold pieces or you have a bunch of old materials, there's gold to be made there. The old Warlord's crafted gear has a multi-stage progressive appearance that has been lost for a while, but it's coming back in the patch. Start up your work orders and pick up new recipes from Storm Shield or War Spear to learn how to make this gear with different appearances and maybe make some gold out of it. The Mage Tower seems to be ready for a relaunch, this time retuned with respect to the huge agency that we now have thanks to talent tree customization. Still, some folks could use a bit of extra help, which is where the old world consumables come into play and might give folks a bit of an extra edge at completing Mage Tower challenges. Now let's get to what else is going on this week. The Lunar Festival juked us and is instead starting up this coming week. According to Blizzard, Elders have been added to the Dragon Isles, increasing the number of currency available to pick up to unlock appearances. The event goes on for 2 weeks, and actually will overlap with the first launch of the trading post. So far, it doesn't look like completing any Lunar Festival activities will contribute towards the trading post, but I have a feeling that next year things will be different. Speaking of the trading post, it'll be available next week on the 1st of February, so we'll go over all of that stuff next week. The PvP brawl is cooking impossible, where half the team is running around killing everyone that moves, while the other half is miserable. Legion Time Walking is happening, and it's not expected that Legion Time Walking Mythic Plus is going to be a thing, but thanks to the Catalyst, it's worth completing the 5 dungeon requirement so you can get a piece of gear to change into your tier set, either for the bonus or at least for transmog. And over in Mythic Plus World, the affixes are Fortified, Bolstering, and Storming. This shouldn't be too bad of a week. Fortified Bolstering is obnoxious, but not nearly as punishing as Fortified Raging. Storming does pretty much nothing outside of thundering windows, and starting this week, tanks will always get the mark of wind, that's the red debuff. This is significant because groups can now plan around a little bit of consistency. There will always be 2 blue and 3 red debuffs. Players no longer have to worry about standing on top of the tank at like the worst time, and all ranged groups can safely hang back. It's a great change that should have been there from the start, but it should make thundering not just easier to clear, but easier to hold on to. I think that this will result in overall better clears and a small bump in overall key progression. One last thing, after this week, characters that were made in the China region will be cut off from their players for the foreseeable future. At the moment, the Hall of Fame is still gaining steam, but it's gonna get knocked down pretty hard with the lack of players from that region contributing, and in previous Hall of Fames they have made big contributions. Odds are pretty good that cross-realm mythic rating will unlock well before the Hall of Fame completes its top 100s, but the question is, how soon? No one's really talked about this much, but I imagine it's going to be a hot topic very soon as reality sets in that China's absence will have a small but indirect effect on everyone. That's going to wrap things up with what's going on this week, and I'd love for you to come back. Be sure to like the video, subscribe for more content, catch me live, and let's have Bob close us out. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.
Wasted my life, it's obsession. I'm grinding reputation, I will be denied. Hit that 25 and I'll be famous. contract spent. I can't slow down. Rep is who I am. Can't do anything else, so don't hold me back. Need that gear, I need that bug, I need that pet. So I'm gonna make soup, then I'm gonna world boss, then I'm gonna farm more, then I'm gonna not work. My renown will go up, then I'm gonna dig holes, then I'm gonna dig holes, then I'm gonna dig holes. Done.